Every year, when the dry season tightened its grip on the land, a great herd of wild buffalo began their journey. The plains where they had grazed for months slowly turned yellow, and the rivers grew narrow and shallow. The buffalo felt the change before they saw it. Deep within them, an ancient rhythm called them forward. At the front of the herd stood the lead cow, wide-shouldered and steady. She had traveled this route many times before. Though the land changed slightly each year, her memory guided her. Around her moved hundreds of buffalo mothers, calves, and strong bulls, each playing a role in the long walk ahead. At sunrise, the herd began to move, their heavy hooves pressed into the dry soil, leaving deep marks behind. Dust rose into the air as they walked shoulder to shoulder, forming a living river across the plain. The calves stayed protected in the center, surrounded by adults on all sides. The journey was slow and demanding. Under the burning sun, the buffalo walked for hours without rest. Their dark bodies absorbed the heat, but they did not stop. Migration was not a choice, it was survival. Ahead lay green grass and flowing water, but reaching it required patience and strength. As days passed, the land tested them. They crossed open plains where shade was rare, and rocky paths that tired their legs. When they reached dried riverbeds, they paused, sniffing the air. Sometimes they found only cracked earth. Other times a small pool of muddy water offered brief relief. Danger followed them closely. Predators watched from a distance, drawn by the movement and sound of the herd. But buffalo were not easy prey. When threatened, the adults formed a wall around the calves, lowering their heads and standing firm. Strength and unity protected them better than speed ever could. One afternoon, the herd reached a wide river swollen by recent rain. The water moved fast, deep, and unfamiliar. The buffalo hesitated, their low calls filling the air. The lead cow stepped forward first, testing the ground beneath her hooves. Slowly, she entered the river. One by one, the herd followed. Water rose around their bodies, pushing against their strength. Calves struggled briefly, but adults stayed close, guiding them safely. The crossing was long and tiring, but when the last buffalo reached the far bank, the herd rested together, breathing heavily but alive. As the journey continued, the signs of hope grew stronger. The air cooled slightly, and distant clouds promised rain. One morning, thunder rolled across the sky, and rain finally fell. The buffalo lifted their heads, letting the water wash dust from their hides. The land responded quickly. Fresh green grass pushed through the soil, and the scent of life filled the air. Weeks after they began, the herd reached their destination, a vast valley filled with tall grass and clear streams. The buffalo slowed, spreading out as they grazed deeply, pulling fresh grass from the earth. Calves ran freely for the first time in days, their energy renewed. Here, the herd would remain for months. The land provided food, water, and space. The buffalo rested, healed, and grew stronger. Calves learned to graze, and mothers watched over them patiently. Bulls stood guard at the edges, alert and calm. As seasons passed, the herds settled into the rhythm of the land, but they never forgot the journey. Migration was part of who they were. It taught them endurance, cooperation, and trust in ancient instincts. When the dry season returned once more, the signs would appear again: the shrinking rivers, the fading grass, the restless feeling in their bodies. And once more, the herd would rise, gather, and walk across plains and rivers. Through heat and rain, the wild buffalo would follow the path written in memory and instinct. Their migration was not just movement across land, it was a story repeated through generations, a reminder that survival depended on unity and respect for nature's rhythm. Under the open sky, the wild buffalo continued their endless walk, carrying the spirit of the land with them, year after year.